Hello, my name is DEEWR, and I would like to talk to you guys today about the stolen generation and the fact that there's nothing being done about stolen generation here on Groote Eylandt. I would like our plaque put up in memory of those stolen generation kids, and here's what the old people have to say.
Yeah, okay, then. Naka Daniel Lara. And we know him his mother and his father. He's a black man. And then married Mangum Nag Daniaronga, the Mangatara, Mangatara. Then we know him very well. He's not a stolen generation, but he's a true married into a black woman. So, but I'm gonna go more further up. Look at them way back in the Second World War II. And I was a boy at that time, but I understand all those things in the past. And well, anyway, this is in the beginning of the story of stolen generation long time ago. There's a Harold Hamilton. He was a skipper of Holly, and he married to Margaret Hamilton. And after that, all the stolen generation from Bush or from Borulula, where all those things, area to Rover River, all this, blah blah, etc. Is a very bad for them to children because of they're crying for their mom and dad, a stolen generation. They was crying, and and very sad for them to keep. They left it, their mother and the father back into Rover River Mission. It used to be Araboya. Then, as far as I know, all those things is in the past. And very sad things because they just been, some of them, the stolen generation was, so they are sawmiller, they are builder, they are farm, and they are gardener. All those things as a stolen generation used to be done at the old mission, Yatikpa. Amikaranga Yatikpa. And today we call that Yatikpa, old mission we used to say. Used to be a mission. And those days I was a little boy and having a school with them, Gona Bush. And she used to send little kids, go and grab the 5 stone outside of the school. And we just go and out and just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone and come back to show the lady. And some of them, children, they come back with the right number. And some of them stone is maybe a 2 or 3. Come back to this is not 5 stone, this is 3 stone this. And we're just robbing away and all this. So we just been learning from a stolen generation because they've been speaking Andiaka language too. Harry Halston was speaking too. Yeah, and Jerry Plittner is speaking language Andiaka too. All these things in the past, so we can remember that. And after Second World War II, the war coming. And all the Second World War II coming, and some of them stolen generation come back to the mainland to to their own homeland, maybe Europa or Catherine or Matring, and they just go way down to the New South Wales somewhere. After when the Second World War finished, and they all come back to the homeland at the old mission again. They didn't leave because they've been learning there, they've been knowing language and the people, and they just come back. And they didn't forgotten, they didn't say I'm stolen from them, but they left, the mother and the father, and they just did. But every now and again, their mother and the father comes in from Roper to old mission to visit the kids, their own children. And the good for them to be happy. So I don't want to get along that. So I know. And I remember in the beginning when I started with the war, and now I couldn't stand really good because how we people, because we don't know how to touch the gun or a machine gun or bomb. We just gonna be a kid killed. Well, anyway, that's the end of my story. But later on, I'll come into this mission here, Angurku. At the end of the story then, just I went away to Numbuar, more further, no mission here, that just push. Far as at Uyakepa, more further, near mouth of Nuka River, and we just stayed for a long time there because I am a Nungapuyu man speaking language from Numbalwar and Angurku. Yeah, so we just come back, and it just been remember. But in that day, those days, I mean, is a lot of things has been happening. We have learned from the stolen generation too. The teaching and building and sawmilling, all these things we have learned from that stolen generation. I suppose in me I learned much too. So I was where I've grown up. I was learning gardening, cassava with potato, watermelon, rockmelon, all those things that I learned too. Pawpaw, banana, all those things I learned. From the stolen generation I learned so much too, and we lived together in those days. But I feel sorry because they all gone too. But some of them stolen generation, especially Jerry Plittner and Jesse Plittner, they buried here, other side of the river. The graveyard is here. Anyway, I'm happy about that. Thank you.
Yeah, Dan, I think you want to know a little bit what I know about the old mission days and what people have called the stolen generation. Well, I can only tell you what people have told me because it was finished when I got to Groote Eylandt in 1970. But I did know Auntie Connie Bush, and I knew Jerry Blittner, and I knew his wife Jessie. I knew some of the family of those people, and people told me that some came from the Borroloola area, some came from the Roper area, and all the area, especially where the white Australian people came up with the cattle, and they were marrying or taking some of the girls as their wives, and some of these children came, and the Commonwealth government decided that they wanted to take those children away because they wouldn't get a good education. That was the reason they gave. Thankfully, some of them came to some of the mission societies, and CMS was asked if they'd look after a group of people down at Old Mission, down at the Emerald River. And I know that according to Auntie Connie Bush, most of the time it was good down there. A couple of the missionaries were pretty tough. And one man, I think he was the motor mechanic, they told me, he was really tough. If people did the wrong thing, he'd give them a flogging. So maybe boys and girls, I'm not sure, but only kind of said that he was a hard man. And they also said he was a hard man, but he was fair. So I've heard that story. What else can I tell you about it? Auntie Connie also said that but for those days when missionaries gave the people education and all, it helped them in their later life to become good citizens and to do a proper day's, a good work and to support the community. And then in 1943 there was a really big flood and it washed the mission out. What I probably should tell you about that is that what Benjamin and some of the others have told me is that around the outside of the old mission area, a lot of the Aboriginal people from this community were camping, and so they were becoming part of that community. When the floods came and the missionaries got permission to settle at Anurugu, and so then the Aboriginal people from this area came into the mission, and some of those boys and girls from Borroloola area, they had already been trained, and so some of them were builders and carpenters, and I think the ladies did sewing and all that sort of thing, and they helped start this mission up. I know Jerry Blittner did some of the carpentry around here and all that sort of business. They were probably in the sawmill, I don't know, and all that sort of thing, because they had sawmills all over the place too. And so from what I know, those people did a good job and supported this community very well. But you'd have to ask somebody like Benjamin, maybe Murabuda, who would remember back or would remember what their family told them.
Like before, people from different places. I think more somewhere in the big city, somewhere in the south. See? The people heard the story from at Nuka area, Catherine area, Nuka, Burulula, listening. So those families might as well, we have to send these kids to Island, but we got family up there. So they send all those people from Catherine, Burulula, from Nuka, like Connie Push and maybe 5 or 6 girls beside her. And Jerry Blittner was a little boy. Jerry Blittner was about that eye, and Harry Adelson was about that eye. Harry Adelson is the eldest. Jerry Blittner was there, was beside him. So, an old man, the one who Jerry Blittner talked to that little boy, your armory, my father, like these two armory boys, he knows that 2 old men been here at this island, right?
Yeah.
Well, that old man from Ropa even say, his name Milwar or Malakai, because
Hey, this for?
huh?
Hey, who is this for?
Which one?
The story that you telling. Is this for the house and for, or is this for like Jerry Blittner?
Jerry Blittner and those most of the upper guys.
Yeah.
So they send them up to Groote Eylandt. So this old man, originally bloke's name Elaka. I said, I know our brother's there. So we sent this little boy to Groote Eylandt. So Jerry Blittner was here, live on the Emerald. When he grew up, be a man,
Go
then he went to Catherine and married J.C. Blittner. Okay. Jerry was born here and grew up here. He came when he was a little boy. And also the old man he sent that little boy to his old banjo. to look after him here at Emerald. And then also he knows that two of his father, two memory players, they was here. So that's what's been happening. Those girls was they live alone, this like Connie Bush. That Herodotus and Morphia, they was here, all those families. Because they know themselves, how people, some of us here staying, their family was here. Big more. Many a lot more old people. That's why they send their own those girls over here, they're terribly. They stop here and grow up, and after all, everything was wiped down. All those girls, Connie Bush and all the girls, they will be gone. When they grow up to be a woman. When he Asian witness, they both stay here. From Emerald, leave the Emerald and come back here in this place. When you
Didn't my arm revenge find this place? Didn't my arm revenge find this place after the big flood after the big flood at Almission? Didn't arm revenge walk all the way and he would find he found Angaroka.
He walked all the way from Emerald. All his family, I like Big Mother Abjimo. They would travel from there. And they stay at Top Crossing. They make a little bit of house there. And New Armory, we were traveling. And there are two boys, two men. They're walking along the beach and one white fella called DEEWR. They traveled from there, out of the beach and come back and they found this place. This is a good place to live here, to make a house. So they found this area now. So they established the place here. Making houses now, big houses.
I want the end of the land council because this is what I'm going to send this video to the land council, and I just want them to put up a sign saying Stolen Generation was here, and that's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. It won't cost that much money. It only probably costs about $400 for somebody to put the rock in place with the writing on the rock. And that's all I want.